All right, so good afternoon, everyone. It's around 2 o'clock, 10 minutes, and I'm very happy to continue this live stream on live stream passive income. So, as we've seen before, this is basically the procedure for generating passive income. But today, I'm actually going to create the blueprint that I will use myself to generate passive income from live streaming, and I'm happy to share with you. And so we're going to use this Google drawing to really draw in detail the blueprint. So let me just create a new one, and you're going to see it's quite logical that you can use your laptop and YouTube to generate passive income. Passive, of course, means that you do not have to work. I mean, you might have to supervise the live streaming on YouTube and make sure it's running. But basically, you just need 4 components, and let me just write them here, and they're part of your blueprint to generate passive income from YouTube. So first of all, obviously, you need a product to sell, and ideally, it should be a digital product. So this can be an ebook, can be a video course, can be a membership site where people pay per month to have access to your online content, can be a web application, it can be a video game. All of these digital products can be created with the help of artificial intelligence. So we're going to take a look at that later on. I'm going to dedicate a whole live stream on how to create digital products, but for now, we're just going to take a look at the big picture, the big blueprint. So the second thing you need is content. And of course, I mean video content, because you're going to live stream this content on YouTube. So you can be the creator of this content, or you can be a curator. So you receive content from other people and you're the curator, you're the quality control inspector. Okay, so here you can be creator or creator. You can actually do both. And of course, you need video content because that's what live streaming is all about. You're streaming the content. So creator or curator. The third thing you need for this business model to work is streamer. You need to have a streamer, someone who's gonna do the streaming. And this is so easy that anyone who has a laptop, including a teenager, can be the streaming operator. And so here you need just a laptop, a very basic small laptop. You install OBS Studio, which is a free software, and you have a Wi-Fi connection or internet connection of sufficient quality. And yeah, I think public Wi-Fi is not good. You've got to have it in your home or your office. So good Wi-Fi, and you have to have a YouTube account. Any YouTube account holder can start streaming on the internet, but when you first start, I think there's 24 hours verification. After 24 hours, you can live stream indefinitely on YouTube. So you need to have a YouTube account, and I think that's it. So you need a digital product because that's how you're going to sell, right? So this is really important. The product has to be of high quality. Yeah, in a separate session, I'm going to talk about services, but ideally you don't want to offer a service. You can offer a digital product because, so many products can be created with AI. Now, once you have customers for your digital products, you can just email them or message them, and you can offer coaching, consulting, training on top of your digital product. So that's something you can do after. But first, I think just offer a digital product. Like even if you sell it only for $10 or $20, it's better because, even if you're just making $10 per product, it's good because it's passive income. You don't have to do anything. Okay. So this is the easiest. Let me put a color. The easiest, maybe we can put it in green because, that's the easiest. No, sorry. No, that's not the easiest. What am I saying? The streaming is the easiest. So we're going to put in green so you can just go fast. The digital product, that's tough. We're going to put that in red. So you have to pause and really think about it. And the video content creator or curator, that's comes from the digital product. So, and it's not as hard as a digital product because you're not charging anything, right? This content, you're giving it away for free. So we're going to put it in yellow. So these colors show you like where you should put your time and effort. You should really put it here. You should pause and really try to create a good digital product. Just one digital product is needed. So let me see. So these are the three components. And before I draw the diagram, how they fit together, let's talk about where you fit, right? And ideally, you should be part of a team. One person does this, another person does that, another person does that. So at least one person will do each of these. So let's describe the kind of person who will, who is ideally suited for one of these three roles. So here, it can be a teacher, it can be an expert, it can be a consultant. Essentially, it's someone who has, significant knowledge, expertise, experience. Yeah, it could be a novelist, could be a course developer, etc. So if you're, it could be also a coach. So if you're one of these professionals, then definitely you should strive to create a digital product. And like I said before, I'm going to do a whole live stream on how you can create a digital product, because, if you're creating a video course, you need Camtasia, or you can just do it with your smartphone. Like, really keep it simple. That's the whole idea here. So I'm just going to put my advice, like, really keep it simple, because this thing is in red, and you might have the idea that, oh, it's in red, I have to really make sure my product is perfect. But remember that perfectionism, it's really the enemy here. You just want to get started. You will perfect it in time, but just create a what they call a minimum viable product. So it's really a minimum product that is viable, that is beneficial to people, and just to get the ball rolling, just to generate the momentum. And after that, you can just perfect it. So say no to perfectionism, but yes to perfect. I just created this word, by the way, perfectism. Perfectism means you're perfecting it, but you're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming to perfect as a verb, right? So perfectism. I can't believe it. I just created that word, which actually sounds pretty good. Perfectism. Just create something, minimum viable product, and just improve it over time. Okay. Like the first audio program I created to teach entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs about business, it was called the BMW workshop. I created in 2009. It was 2 a.m. It's just an audio program on DVD, and I was selling it. It was converting like 10%. And I woke up one day, I think in May 2009, and PayPal sent me notifications, and the subject line was you received a payment. Oh my God, like, it was only $10, but it's a fact that I had received all those payments. Not a lot, like just a half a dozen overnight while I was sleeping. So I woke up a little bit richer, and that was really amazing. That was 2009, so like 15 years ago. So anyways, if you're one of these people, you should consider creating a digital product. So you're the member of the team who's creating digital products. So I'm just going to put an arrow here. That's your path at the beginning. So you're covered if you can do that. And it's not going to be hard, as you will see later on, for you to find people who do your video content. A lot of digital marketing professionals can do this, like even young people who are good with TikTok, good with video creation, video editing, etc. And it's going to be very easy to set up your streaming. Okay, so the second type of people is the video content creator or curator. So who are these people? Well, it turns out that the same people here who are creating digital products, they can also create video content, because video content is very much like the content here that you're selling. It's just that you're giving it away for free. You know, you're giving, like for here, for example, if you have an ebook, you can just give away the first 4 chapters. If you have a video course, just give away the first 4 modules. So that's the easy way, you know. But you know, so that's why, like, the people here, they can become video content creators as well. But if you're not one of these people, let's say you're good with video editing. So for example, Camtasia is very easy to use, or you can use DaVinci Resolve. It's a little bit more technically challenging, but you know, it's not, you just learn stuff one step at a time and you're gonna master it. It's not that hard. DaVinci Resolve is free. There's a free version. Camtasia is not free, but you know, you can still get it, just a few $100s. So if you're good with video editing, it should take no more than 1 day to learn. If you're good with oh yeah, OBS Studio can also be used to record your screen. So it's not just for live streaming. You can record anything happening on your screen. You can use Audacity, which is a sound editing software, but you don't have to. Audacity is a little bit advanced. So here it's more like people who are good with video, right? Video editing, video mixing, you know, and you know, they can create video content. And basically they create videos. That's the outcome. So I'm just going to put in bold the outcome. What is it that these people are creating? They're creating videos, VLC videos. So these are videos being played with the VLC player. So that's what they're creating. Here, these people are creating products for sales. Right, so we're going to put products. And this is where, of course, we're making money. So I'm going to put the $sign. Wait, what is that? No. Yeah, so products means that they're, you know, this is where they make money. That's where the whole team is making money thanks to these digital products. So, you know, get your whole team involved to get feedback on products. So here the videos are free, but you have to create tons of videos. And here streaming, who are the people? Okay, so here we're done. Video editing, OBS Studio, Audacity. So that's all you need. If you have those skills, you can play in this yellow box. You can be a video content creator or curator. And so let's take a look at the third type of people or team member, and it might suit you. So this, of course, is the green box, and this is really the easiest. It's the easiest, but it's absolutely necessary, and you still have to pay attention to what you're doing. So here, the teacher, expert, consultant, again, they can do this. But ideally, you know, you should outsource it to somebody else, so that if you're a teacher, expert, consultant, etc., you should focus on developing or improving your products in the red box here, right? Like, don't do the streaming. You could, like, I can do all three, but I definitely want to outsource to other people. So who are the people who can be like streaming operators? First of all, let's just put down exactly what is it that they're doing. So they are streaming. Ideally, they should be streaming 24/7, because the thing is that, you know, if your video content here, if it's good and people appreciate it, well, you might as well run it 24 hours a day. I mean, you're not working. It's your laptop connected to the internet that is streaming on YouTube. And it's very convenient, therefore, for people to go online and they can just look at your live stream and they can see the menu, right? They can see the programming. For example, today, it's currently 2:25 p.m. You know, if they go to my live stream, they can see that at 3 o'clock, there's going to be a special program. let's say email marketing. At 4 o'clock, there's going to be a webinar on sales. And so people can just go to your live stream, which is an address on the internet, and they can see the menu. They can see what is going to be played at what time. Very much like television, right? You need to see the programming. So ideally, it should be streaming 24 hours a day. Okay, streaming 24/7. And that's the responsibility of the streaming operator. And that person doesn't have to know about video editing. Okay, like she's not editing anything. She doesn't have to know about Camtasia because the video has been edited by people in the yellow box. She has to know about OBS Studio, obviously. Audacity, she doesn't have to know. So basically, it's someone who has a laptop, who has a good Wi-Fi connection at home, and YouTube channel. So she has to have her own channel that's connected to OBS Studio, and that's it. So these are equipment. I mean, it's just a laptop and the Wi-Fi. So these are the only thing that will actually cost money. So I'm just gonna put a $ here. It's a bit of an investment. I mean, the laptop today, like a good one, is very cheap. Like $200. You can even buy a used laptop. And it's important to have a dedicated laptop because you want that laptop to be the streaming laptop, and you can use your other laptop or desktop computer to do whatever you have to do. But in fact, you know what? In fact, you can be live streaming from your laptop in OBS Studio, and you can be working on something else because OBS Studio is working in the background. So you can actually use the laptop that you have right now, and while you're surfing the internet or doing whatever it is that you're doing, OBS Studio in the background, it's going to live stream on the internet. So you don't really have to buy a second laptop. It's just that, if you go out of the house or the office and you bring your laptop with you, well, then you have to have a second laptop that's going to stay at home and that's going to do the live streaming, right? Because when you're transporting your laptop, it's not live streaming. So again, I know it sounds a little bit incredible. Like people will say, well, Peter, I can do a Premiere video. It could run for 2 hours every day. Why do I have to live stream 24/7? That sounds a bit extreme. Yeah, it may sound extreme, but you have to look at it from the point of view of your customers. It has to be convenient for them. A lot of people today, and I don't really understand, well, I understand a little bit, but they say that, to watch this webinar or that webinar, you have to register and the next one is going to run. Well, I'm thinking, why do you have to make people wait? Like, if your content is good, send an email or a message to people on LinkedIn, for example, and just tell them, hey, I have a live stream. You can just go and check it out right now, and they can see the programming, right? So it has to be on 24/7. Like, think of Amazon, for example. Amazon is on 24/7. Yesterday, I bought a projector at 2 a.m. No, at 6 a.m. I mean, they're open for business at 6 a.m. And so when you live stream 24 hours a day, it means that in your live stream, you're going to be making offers, special offers, all the time. And therefore, you allow people to buy all the time, not just some of the time, when you're giving a webinar, like, in 2 hours. No, allow them to benefit, learn from you all the time so that they can buy from you anytime. So I'm very much absolutist in terms of streaming. YouTube allows you to live stream 24/7. So why not, right? And, I would even say 24/7 because the second 7 refers to 7 continents. So I can be live streaming my content on all the 7 continents, right? As long as people understand English, they can actually benefit from my live stream. In fact, my live stream on calligraphy, they don't even need to understand English because when they watch on YouTube, YouTube can translate my voice in English into their particular language, whether it's Spanish, Italian, etc. So they can see me perform calligraphy, and they can read the captions, the subtitles in their own language. So that's why I say that when I live stream calligraphy or basically any training content, people can learn in their own language. Therefore, 7 continents. So what I do today, what I do these days is that I'm setting up my blueprint for passive income. And so now that you see all the components of this magnificent, this is really, really beautiful. It's a beautiful business system because everything is automated. You know, once you set up your OBS studio, it's going to run. It's going to play those videos over and over again, like these videos. And once in a while, there's going to be a video that's going to sell something. And this reminds me, I almost forgot. We need a fourth person, but this fourth person is getting involved, like not all the time. Like you need these 3 permanent members of the team, but there's a fourth person that's related to the product, because a product, no matter how good it is, you need a copywriter who's going to sell it. Okay, so let me just create a copy, and I'm going to call it copywriter for LPI. LPI is for Livestream passive income. So the copywriter, you gotta find a great one. Like, and the reason why is that the copywriter is actually gonna sell your product. So, like, you know, and the good news is that you can. Hold on, let me just put copywriter here, or copywriting. Okay, so this is really important. So it's not going to be red. We're going to put, let me see which color. No, this is a little bit effeminate. Yeah, maybe blue sky. The sky's the limit. Okay, so the copywriting is very important. Your copywriter, or you know, you can be like the digital product creator, and you can use artificial intelligence to generate the sales copy. But basically, the copywriting here will result in a, let's say, 5-minute sales pitch. And this is really a sales pitch where, you know, every hour you're running a 5-minute video that will sell the video course. And for the remaining 55 minutes, you're just providing free content, education, information, advice, case studies, interviews, etc. And so the copywriting here is what is going to feed all these people. Because if the copywriting is good, then people will convert. Like a percentage of the viewers will become customers and they will pay. And the revenues generated will pay the video content person, the streaming person, and of course the creator. Okay, so it all comes from the skill and the quality of the copywriting. So I'm just going to put an arrow to show you that, sure, you know, you can have all the 3 components, red, yellow, and green, but it's the blue sky person who is like most critical. Okay, this is the person who, like, you really have to choose the best copywriter, or you've got to have the right prompts to generate a good copy, so that you have 5 minutes sales pitch. Now, of course, it's not just the copy, right? Because it's a 5-minute video sales letter. So let's be specific. It's a 5-minute VSL, or video sales letter. So it's a sales letter, but in the form of a video, and you know, it's gonna trigger people's desire to buy the product, and this is where you're making money. This is really important, and the money generated from your VSL is going to pay for everyone. Okay. But you know, like once you have a video sales letter that converts, whether it converts 2% of the viewers, or 1%, or 5%, or even like 0.5%, it's good. Just start running it, and you just have to reach more viewers. But if after a couple of days or after a couple of weeks your VSL converts at 0%, that's not good. You have to switch to a new copywriting strategy. So once it works, you know, you can just relax and just keep using the same 5-minute video sales letters. You will have different versions, but you change the different versions, right? And after that, you're just, and the digital product is created. After that, you're just running the video content 24 hours a day, and it's going to be like a money printing machine. Okay, this is very important. Let me just put that down because, I understand that to set up these 4 components, these 4 boxes, it's going to require some focus and some sustained effort. So it's important for us, for you and I, to be motivated. Okay, so here's the motivation statement. Once the product is created and video sales letter are created, we just have to run the live stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to print money. Okay, this is very, because this is what passive income is all about. This is live stream passive income. And so before, you probably heard about digital products. They've been around for a while. You've heard about video content. If you're using YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you probably know about live streaming, even though you're not live streaming yourself, but you've seen news channels like MSNBC, CNN, they're live streaming all the time, and you know about copywriting. But what you didn't know before is how these 4 components fit together into a magnificent business model where you're printing money. So you just have to set up the whole thing, and you're going to be able to print money. And guys, like I said yesterday in a spontaneous live stream, I'm a scientific entrepreneur. Everything I've done in the past for the first time has always worked. Why? Because I look at it from a scientific point of view. Scientific means that this is just a tangent to help you to think more scientifically and succeed without fail. Being scientific simply means that every claim that you're making, every statement, hypothesis, assumption, you have to be able to falsify. And this is so important. I know it's a tangent, but it's going to be very useful to you in your life, in your career, even in your relationships. Falsification means that you take every statement that I've made in this live stream and you try to prove me wrong. Okay? Now, if you cannot prove me wrong, then it has to work. Like engineering, it has to work. Like a recipe, when you're cooking, it has to work because you cannot prove me wrong. Okay? So, for example, one way to scientifically test your business model is you take the component and you say the opposite. So here I say that you need to have a digital product in order to make money. So say the opposite. If I didn't have a digital product, would I be able to make money? The answer is no. Actually, the answer is no generally, because in your video content, you can live stream and there can be a button in the description box and people can donate. They can send money to your PayPal account. But that's like non-profit, right? Generally speaking, you need to have a product in order to make money because people will pay for a product, okay? So that's proven. Second, if you don't have video content, can you live stream? Of course not, right? So you need video content. Otherwise, there's nothing to stream. You cannot stream a text file. You cannot stream a web application or software program or source code. You need video content. And typically in OBS Studio, it has to be VLC. Actually, no, it's not. It doesn't even have to be VLC. VLC is just a player. Anyways, you need videos. If you don't have videos, you cannot live stream. Third, you need to have a streaming person. You need to have a laptop, OBS, and Wi-Fi and YouTube account. These are absolute requirements. Now, instead of a laptop, you can have a desktop, but OBS Studio is non-negotiable. So you need a laptop or a desktop. So let me just put it here just to make sure, because some people like me, we have a desktop, so that works as well. So desktop or laptop, you absolutely need OBS Studio. There might be other streaming software, but let's keep it simple. OBS Studio is free and it's very powerful. You need YouTube, absolutely. And you need Wi-Fi at home, absolutely. So you can see that it's scientific. You need these 4 components to be able to stream. And finally, like I said, you need to have a video sales letter that is very powerful, written professionally. by a copywriter. Now, if you're doing it yourself and you're using ChatGPT, you still probably need feedback from a professional copywriter like myself, because otherwise you're going to be setting up this whole thing and it's not going to make money. So this is where it makes money. This is super important. You know what? I'm going to put it in bold, because do not try to save money with copywriting. If you need to hire a copywriter and you need to pay him or her $500, $1,000, $2,000, just do it. But the good news is that you can hire a good copywriter and he can charge you a base fee, let's say $500, and he's going to say, you know what, I'll charge you only $500, but I'm going to get like 10% from your sales until I reach a maximum of 5,000. And you are willing to do that because if he's taking like, 10% or 20% of your sales, it means that he's pretty confident it's going to convert. He's pretty confident his video sales letter is going to generate revenue for you, and therefore he's going to get 10% from that. So, if a copywriter proposes that kind of revenue sharing, you know that it's a good copywriter. On the other hand, if a copywriter says, no, I don't want any revenue sharing, I need to be paid like 5,000 upfront, well, that's kind of a red flag, because once you pay him 5,000, what if there's a problem with your video sales letter for whatever reason and you're not generating revenue? Well, he got paid 5,000, but you're left stranded because you're not making money. So always try to choose a copywriter who's actually accepting revenue sharing. That means he's going to do his best, right? Because if he doesn't do his best, he's not going to get his 10% from sales. So this is super, super, super important. This is also super important because your video product, whatever it is, it has to be really good. But like I said, today with large language models helping you, it's not that difficult. Before AI came around in 2022, it would be very hard. Like even for an award-winning writer like myself, it's kind of hard to write an ebook or create a video course, right? You have to be an expert in a particular field. It takes years. You don't have to be an expert anymore. You can go on ChatGPT and it's going to create a video course for you, and then you can use 11 Labs to do the voiceover. Same thing with membership. Today with PayPal, Gumroad, it's so easy to create, a membership site. Which reminds me that you can have a video course, but this is crazy. You need a fifth person, but this fifth person, this fifth person is like the copywriter. This fifth person is not a permanent a member of the team. So let me just add this fifth person. But I want to reassure you that, it seems like there's a lot of people getting involved, but the only people that need to be permanently involved are these three people. So let me just mention the fifth person I just remembered here. And this is the e-commerce person. Is that right? Yeah, e-commerce person. So basically, this person is responsible for creating a Gumroad sales page. Now, in your case, it could be anything else. Another e-commerce provider or platform. It can be Shopify, etc. So I'm not really familiar with them, but it can also be teachable.com, where you're selling video courses. It can be a number. It can even be your own website. So, but basically, this is the person who's going to set up the sales page, right? And once your sales page is set up, you don't really need to do anything else. Hold on, let me just, it's so fascinating. Like, I didn't think about a lot of this when I started today with my first cup of coffee, and somehow while I'm talking to you, it all comes out. So let me just hold on just a minute. And I think in total, I can't really promise, but I think in total you just need you just need like these 5 professionals or team members of the Mission Impossible team. Well, I call it Mission Impossible because that's what people think at the beginning. I'm hoping that by the time you get to the end of this incredibly useful webinar, hopefully you'll change your belief system a little bit, and you begin to think, maybe Peter has a point here. Maybe Peter is onto something here, like maybe he's right that it's not that difficult. I'm just going to put same as before as on the left. So same people as on the left, and here same thing. Same as on the left. And so hopefully, by the time you reach the end of this webinar, you're going to think, maybe I should give it a try, because if I'm right, and you can simply doesn't mean easily, okay? Like this is very simple, but you have to make a bit of effort because guys, remember, you're going to be able to print money. So it does require some effort. I'm trying to make everything as simple and as easy as possible, but there's a limit to what I can do for you, right? But that's why you should always remember, once you have this set up, it's going to print money. I'm going to create a Grok video or several videos to show you. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to use Grok video generation to create videos, animations to show you how all of this works. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so you have to remember that once you have this system set up, you're going to be printing money. Wait. While you are sleeping. Alone or with somebody else. None of my business. But you're going to be printing money while you're sleeping. So guys, this is something you got to remind yourself over and over again while you're setting up this system. I'm setting up this system myself and I don't need that motivation because I know how to do all of this. It's just a matter of executing. But if you have a lot to learn, when you do all of this, or you do one of the boxes, you need to motivate yourself. You need to tell yourself that at the end of this journey, it might take you 2 weeks. It might take you 4 weeks, but with my help, it's going to be much faster, probably 2 weeks. At the end of your journey, you're going to have a system that prints money for you. You're never going to have to worry about, working hard and driving or commuting at the office. You're going to have financial freedom. This is what 100% of employees want in life. Like what if you talk to any random person on the street, and probably I should do that. It sounds like fun. I should just stop people, and I've done that before as a journalism student. We just one assignment. It really, it was very liberating. One assignment was that we stop people on the street and we ask them their opinion on something, some survey. So I'm gonna ask people. But my point is that if you talk to any employee out there and you ask them, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, can I ask you a question? If you could make money," that's the beauty. Like once you know how to do this, you can teach people how to do all of this, and you can make money while teaching people how to do what you've done. So what's happening to work for a living? More power to you, but you shouldn't have to be forced to work. And I think that once you set up this, what is it? Super Peter, right?